Hey everybody, it's Lisa Purdy, and I'm back with you going through the book from Herbert Locklear, All the Prayers of the Bible. And today I'm going to be going over Genesis 32, which is a prayer about a wronged brother. I want to go ahead and read what Locklear writes because I think it's a really in-depth approach to what this dialogue that happens. And so I think it'll just help you with how Jacob is talking to God. Okay? So Genesis 32. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which saidst unto me, return unto thee thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast showed upon the servant. For with my staff I passed over the Jordan, and now I have become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And thou sayest, I will surely do thee good, and make thee seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. Genesis 32, 9 through 12, and 24 through 29. So here's a chapter fittingly illustrated how the intensity, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. That's his word, not mine. Jacob, we don't talk like that anymore. Jacob's prayer is one of the most devout, fervent, and successful prayers recorded in the Bible. So summarizing his prayer, we note that 1, he approached God as the God of his father. So God has a covenant, and the appeal was to divine faithfulness. Elijah prays like this actually in 1 Kings 18:36. This common feature speaks of the continuity of national history and of the gracious link that bound the worshipers to the saints of the past. 2, he addresses God as his own God. Jacob pleads God's promises to himself as well as to his father. When Jacob met the angel of God in the way, which is Genesis 32:1, and came to pray to the divine wrestler, he employed a mode of address, adding great power to Old Testament prayers. 3, he added to his prayer a deep spirit of self-abasement. He came to see how unworthy he was of divine mercy. With reverence, Jacob declared himself unfit to receive the least of God's mercy. Everything came before him: deceit towards his father, trickery of Esau and of Laban. What else could he do but plead for God to deliver him? But before God could answer Jacob's prayer, he had to deal with Jacob. So 4, he presented his petition as a believer, deeply concerned for the manifestation of divine glory. Alfred Thomas, in Great Prayers of the Old Testament, writes thus of Jacob: Himself was born in answer to prayer, in spite of his defeats and blemishes of character, through which he leaves a less favorable impression on the mind than either of the two patriarchs from whom he joined in equal honor in the New Testament. Was himself evidently a firm believer in prayer. It is noteworthy that the example of Jacob is quoted by the first and last of the minor prophets, Hosea 12, verse 3 and 4 and 12, and Malachi chapter 1, verse 2. If you remember, so Jacob is the second born to Rebekah and Isaac. And Rebekah, if you remember, in her womb, she could feel the battle between Esau and Jacob. And God, when she asked God, why is this? He says that there are two nations battling in her womb, and that the second-born, Jacob, would be served by the firstborn, Esau. So he tells them ahead of time what's going on. But his name, Jacob, means deceiver. And so God's dealing with the change of who he is in his heart and how He went from deceiving his father for the firstborn blessing. He deceived Rebekah's father in order to leave, that kind of thing. So you see this over and over. Number 5, he illustrates the importance of the efficacy of earnest, fervent, agonizing prayer in distressed circumstances. He was, of course, somewhat negative in his request. His conscience-smitten mind led him to pray that he might be delivered from his brother he had wronged. 6, he shows that the surest way to prevail with men is to prevail with God. Jacob passes from the boldness of self-confidence to the boldness of faith and becomes Israel, the prince of God. The hand that touches Jacob's sinew touched his soul and changed the supplanter into a saint. So he's transformed. Jacob's joyful confession was that he had seen God's face to face. There is a poetry piece in here about Jacob by a guy named J. Sharp. It says, Lord, I have wrestled through the lifelong night. Do not depart, nor leave me thus in sad and weary plight, broken in heart. Where shall I turn if thou shouldn't go away, and leave me here in this cold world to stay? I have no other help, no food or light, no hand to guide. The night is dark, my home is not in sight, the path untried. I dare not venture in the dark alone. I cannot find my way if thou be gone. I cannot yet discern thee as thou art, more let me see. I cannot bear the thought that I must pass away from thee. I will not let thee go except thou bless. Oh, help me, Lord, in all my helplessness. So today, what are you wrestling with that you need to talk to God about? You are not Jacob, obviously, you're not the deceiver, but there's got to be something on your mind that you are trying to get God to help have a breakthrough with you and help transform your life in. I would like to encourage you to start declaring those things that are not as if they are. If they are within God's realm of his characters. For instance, he wants us debt-free. Declare you are debt-free in Jesus' name. And if you have a promise from him that you are wanting, but it hasn't come together, like some of these guys waited 20 years before their promises came up. What is it that you could be declaring and praying and having in front of you as a vision that you can keep working towards and having in front of you and saying God's faithfulness will bring this forth. He wanted to be home with his relatives. That was important to him, to be in the land that was anointed for God, that God anointed for them. What is it that you're asking for breakthrough in? Feel free to post something below in the comments field. I'd love praying for people. And let me know if this type of a in-depth dive of the prayers of the Bible, the relationships of those who are written in the Bible with God, and how they talk to him and how he answers them. Let me know how that's landing for you and what you're seeing in your own life. Thanks for listening. If you like this, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. And I hope you guys have a great day.